What's up, everybody? It's Chris here to give my post-fight thoughts on Vic Darchinyan versus Jorge Arce, and a couple other fights over the weekend. Just a couple other things I saw, had thoughts on real quick. First off, last night's super flyweight unification title fight between Vic Darchinyan and Jorge Arce. My bad. Kind of went how I thought it would. I made a prediction on it last minute the other day, but thought Darchinyan would win by late stoppage, and that ended up being the result. To be honest, this fight was pretty one-sided. Also, it wasn't very, I was kind of looking forward to the fight, because the guys didn't like each other. I thought it'd be a really exciting fight, but it really wasn't. It was a really ugly fight. Their styles didn't really mesh well at all. It kind of reminded me of the Mayorga-Mosley fight, where I thought that'd be a really explosive, exciting fight. And although the end was, the fight itself, for the most part, just was kind of ugly, And I felt the same way watching this fight. There was a lot of holding and just a lot of sloppiness, and, the one-sidedness of the bout didn't help the excitement level either, unfortunately. A couple observations real quick. Darchinyan dominated the first couple rounds. Wasn't throwing a lot of punches, but it seemed like every big punch he threw, he was landed clean, especially with his uppercut. I believe it was a right uppercut. Whenever Arce would lunge in from outside, which he was doing quite often, Darchinyan just seemed to nail him with that uppercut every single time. It was like he had a radar on that thing or something, It was amazing how many times he hit him flush with that uppercut coming in. Arce did find a little success in that 30. Had a couple of good shots there, but and it looked like he might have been turning the tide in his favor, but that was pretty much it. The third round seemed to be the only round where he had any chance. After that, Darchinyan just kind of picked back up and dominated every round from there on out. I'll tell you one thing, Arce, I said I never really seen him fight too much before this. The guy definitely has a lot of heart. He was getting just nailed with hard shots throughout the fight. Darchinyan has some really heavy hands, I knew he has good knockout power, but a lot of his punches, you could really hear him land, like really just thudding blows. Like I said, this was an ugly fight. Mid rounds, I noticed there was a lot of wrestling and grappling going on, and I was curious to see who that was gonna take more out of later, because that's gonna tire you out, especially these smaller guys. And I think that, along with the accumulation of the punches Darchinyan landed, definitely wore down Arce. If you notice Arce by around the 7th, 8th round, he was really just flailing around. His body just looked really weakened. He looked really tired. He just didn't really have a lot left in him physically, it appeared. And, he kept trying, but he just really, from that point on, from about the 7th round on, you knew he just really wasn't going to be able to pull it out. He really looked like he was just on fumes later on in the fight. And Darchinyan, didn't go at him too much over aggressively, but continued landing his, power punches here and there throughout. There were a couple times where he tried to corner him and finish Arce off, but Arce would be able to survive either by tying up or, things like that. There was a round late in the fight where Darchinyan landed a couple huge uppercuts and almost had Arce out, but Arce was able to survive the round. But anyways, the fight ended up being stopped by the referee, I believe, after the 11th round. Kind of thought the stoppage was uncalled for. Granted, Arce wasn't going to win. There was no need for him to take unnecessary punishment, but he wasn't getting, damaged so much that, it was like career threatening or that was really, really detrimental. It didn't appear. And Arce wanted to finish the 12th. You kind of figure, a guy should be allowed to, especially in that big of a championship bout, unless he's getting completely, bludgeoned, to finish out, if he's capable of, which I believe he was. In the big picture, it really doesn't matter because Darchinyan was going to win the bout regardless, so, I just think it's a matter of pride to let the guy finish the bout. But anyways, that being said, credit to Darchinyan for an impressive performance, if not the most appealing fight to watch. Next up, I'd say Darchinyan should hopefully get the unification title fight against Fernando Montiel. Like to see that fight. Montiel is a very good boxer, classic boxer, very talented fighter, quick. It'd be interesting to see how their styles match up. I think Montiel is the much better technical fighter, but sometimes I think he fights a little scared, a little timid. like if you go watch the fight with him and Johnny Gonzalez a couple years ago. So I don't know. I think Darchinyan might be able to get in Montiel's head and really be able to assert himself in that fight. I'd really like to see it. It's a boxer meets a brawler, slugger type of fight. So I know everyone wants to see the Donaire rematch. I'd like to see it too. As you heard, Gary Shaw. Gary Shaw is really annoying to me sometimes. As you heard him say, that bout's not going to happen. Montiel left his stable. Or not Montiel. Who did I say? Donaire. Donaire left Gary Shaw after that fight. Shaw hates him because of that, basically. He's not going to let his man Darchinyan fight him, regardless if he thinks he could win or not. So, as much as the fans would like to see that bout, I don't see it happening. And either does Gary Shaw, and he's the one that makes it. So, anyways, a couple other things I want to talk about real quick. Fight of the weekend, in my opinion. Friday night fights, Yusuf Mack versus Chris Henry. Really good fight. Yusuf Mack was moving up to light heavyweight. He looked a lot smaller than Chris Henry. Chris Henry looked a lot bigger. And I think he definitely was. Max had problems in the past with fatigue. He ended up losing to Librado Andrade because he was winning the fight early, but fatigued late, and Andrade beat him. Similar thing happened here. Mack was killing Chris Henry early on in the fight, especially in round 6. Yusuf Mack was landing overhand rights, non-stop, huge punches. I mean, these were just bombs. And either he doesn't have a lot of power at that weight, or Chris Henry has a hell of a chin. But in round 6, he landed more overhand clean rights than I've probably seen anyone land in a fight in any round in recent memory. And how Chris Henry did not go down from those is beyond me. He was staggered numerous times, but the guy stayed up, so, props to Chris Henry. Mack also hit him with another one of those rights in the 12th. And Henry staggered and looked like he was going down, but he was able to stay up. But the intrigue was in this fight was Mack was, like I said, just bombing Henry early with big rights, just dominating, being the better technician, landing the cleaner punches. But he seemed to tire out, as is, I guess, his MO. Midway through the fight, Henry was coming on, wasn't landing a lot of huge punches, but was definitely winning the rounds because he was landing more, and Mack was really tired. Mack would land pretty much any of his shots, his big shots whenever he threw them, but he just didn't have enough to throw him as consistent as he did in the early rounds. So it made it a very intriguing fight late. It was curious to see if Mack was going to be able to make it through the fight. Not that he was getting overpowered, but he was just so tired I thought maybe he would wear down. But made it to the end. 12-round decision. Split decision he won. I believe it should have been unanimous, but I could see it going split. I didn't think Henry won the fight, but I did think it was a close fight. I'd recommend going and checking it out. Unfortunately, it replayed again last night, so I don't think ESPN's going to show it again. But if you can search it on the internet, I really suggest doing so. It's a really exciting fight, in my opinion. Another thing, real quick, on Showbox on Friday night. John Molina against Joshua Alati, I believe his name is. I just wanted to talk about something real quick with the ref. Molina nailed Alati with a huge left to the liver. Alati went down, and the referee thought it was a low blow. So he thought the shot was low. So he was giving Alati the mandatory 5 minutes, consulting with the ringside physician and whatnot. But the thing is, he kept telling the guy, get up, come on, get up, come on, get up. If he thought it was a low blow, which apparently he did based on the ruling and the way the fight played out at the end, then why are you urging him to get up? Then he's allotted the 5 minutes, the full 5 minutes. Why are you trying to tell him to get up? I don't know where there's a rule that you have to stand up for the full 5 minutes while you're recovering. You have the 5 minutes you should be able to be on the ground and roll around. The thing was, there was a language barrier. I guess Alati doesn't speak English. So you could tell he was pointing to his liver, pointing to his body, not, trying to indicate that it was a punch to his liver or that it was a body shot, not that it was a low blow, but he just couldn't get it across to the ref. And the ref just came across kind of as a clown here. He was just, I don't know, I couldn't get what he was doing. But Alati ended up getting back up after the 5 minutes. The fight continued. I guess he figured, they're going to let me fight on. I don't even think he wanted to be honest. I just think he couldn't communicate with the referee what he wanted. You could tell he wanted the fight stopped. Anyways, Molina took it to him, hit him with another left in that same spot. Alati went down and looked like he'd been shot there. I mean, he was in pain. So, that was just something that, it just astounded me, the referee. But, anyways, something I thought I'd point out. And last but not least, Joe Calzaghe retired. Can't blame him. Only fight out there possibly was Hopkins rematch or a Dawson fight. Nothing really to prove him from beating Dawson or fighting Dawson, in my opinion. Dawson may be number one at light heavyweight right now, aside from Calzaghe, but, if he wins, what's he really win, So might as well retire while you're on top undefeated. So, good career for Joe Calzaghe. It'd be interesting to see where he marks in the annals of history down the line, but, don't blame him for retiring on top. That's it for now. Until next time, guys, I'm out of here. Bye.